The bridge of the Kreshvan Dominion felt like standing inside a star. Admiral Jekthar's carapace glistened with protective mucus as he surveyed the view screen, his three eyes narrowing at the hellish planet below. Volcanic fissures scarred its surface like wounds, and the atmosphere read 387 degrees Kelvin in the shade. "This is madness," he clicked, his mandibles chattering in distress. "No sentient being can survive down there for more than moments." Beside him, Commander Elsa Chen wiped a bead of sweat from her forehead and smiled. "Admiral, with respect, you haven't met many humans." Jekthar's translator struggled with her tone. Was it confidence or insanity? The Kreshvan had ruled this sector for 3,000 cycles, expanding through dozens of worlds, but they'd never encountered a species quite like humanity. The humans had joined the Galactic Coalition only 2 standard years ago, yet they'd already earned a reputation for stubbornness. "Commander Chen," Jekthar said slowly, "the survey team we sent to Infernus Prime lasted exactly 4 minutes before their suits failed. 4 minutes. The geological readings we need are buried in a cave system that would require at least 2 hours of exposure. It's impossible." Elsa glanced at her colleague, Lieutenant Zia Okafor, who stood at the engineering station. Zia was already pulling up schematics on his datapad, that familiar gleam of problem-solving lighting up his dark eyes. "Admiral," Zia said, stepping forward, "human thermal regulation is different from yours. Our homeworld Earth has extreme climate variations. We evolved to handle temperatures from well below freezing to—" "I have studied your biology," Jekthar interrupted, his voice crackling with static. "Yes, you sweat. You dissipate heat through your skin. Very primitive, very inefficient. But this—" he gestured at the inferno on the screen. "This exceeds all biological tolerances." "For most species, yes," Elsa agreed. She unzipped her uniform jacket slowly, revealing a simple tank top underneath. "But humans have been walking on hot coals, working in foundries, and surviving desert temperatures that would kill most species for thousands of years. We're stubborn that way." Jekthar's antennae twitched in confusion. "You cannot be suggesting—" "I'm not suggesting, Admiral. I'm volunteering." Elsa's voice carried the steel that had made her one of the youngest commanders in the Coalition fleet. "Give us 6 hours to prep. Zia will modify our EVA suits to maximize cooling. I'll go down with a small team and we'll get you those geological samples." The bridge fell silent except for the hum of alien machinery. The other Kreshvan officers exchanged looks of disbelief, their antennae vibrating in a pattern Elsa had learned meant impossible. "This is unprecedented," Jekthar finally said. "No one can endure this heat," Elsa grinned. "Admiral, on Earth we have a place called Death Valley. Temperatures there have reached 330 Kelvin. We have saunas that people voluntarily sit in at 380 Kelvin, and we've been working in steel mills and glass factories at similar temperatures for centuries. This," she pointed at Infernus Prime, "this is just Tuesday for humanity." 6 hours later, Elsa stood in the shuttle bay, checking her modified suit one last time. Zia had outdone himself. The cooling system used a combination of phase-change materials and enhanced sweat-wicking technology that would make any Earth athlete jealous. "You know this is crazy, right?" Zia said, adjusting the calibration on her helmet's HUD. "Completely insane," Elsa agreed cheerfully. "But when has that stopped us?" Zia laughed, the sound echoing in his own helmet. "Never, that's why I'm going with you." "Zia, don't even try, Commander. You need an engineer down there, and I designed these suits. Besides," he tapped his chest, "my ancestors survived the Sahara. This is just the Sahara with better graphics." The shuttle descent was rough, turbulence throwing them against their restraints as they pierced Infernus Prime's angry atmosphere. Through the viewport, Elsa could see rivers of lava snaking across the landscape, geysers of superheated steam erupting from fissures. When they landed, the external temperature gauge read 392 Kelvin. "Suits holding," Zia reported, checking his readouts. "But it's definitely warm." Warm was an understatement. Even through the advanced cooling systems, Elsa could feel the heat pressing against her like a physical force. It reminded her of summers in Arizona, of that blast furnace feeling when you stepped out of an air-conditioned building into desert afternoon. Uncomfortable? Yes, unbearable? Not even close. "Admiral, we're proceeding to the cave system," Elsa reported over the comm. "Acknowledged," came Jekthar's stunned reply. "We are monitoring. Your biosigns are stable." This should not be possible. Humanity specializes in the impossible, sir. The next 2 hours were grueling. They collected samples, mapped the cave system, and endured temperatures that would have melted most species' biology into constituent atoms. Elsa's suit was soaked with sweat, her water reservoir depleting faster than projected. But her hands remained steady. At one point, they had to squeeze through a narrow passage where the ambient temperature spiked to 410 Kelvin. Zia actually laughed. "What's funny?" Elsa grunted, pushing through. "I was just thinking. My grandmother used to cook jollof rice on open flames in the village. She'd stand over that heat for hours, no complaints. If she could see me now, she'd probably say I've gone soft with all this fancy technology." Elsa smiled despite the exhaustion. That was the thing about humans. They carried their ancestors' resilience in their genes, their culture, their stubborn refusal to accept limitations. When they finally emerged from the caves, samples secured, Admiral Jekthar's voice crackled over the comm with something that sounded like awe. "Commander Chen, Lieutenant Okafor, I owe your species an apology, and perhaps a new understanding." Back aboard the Kreshvan Dominion, Elsa stood before the Admiral, her hair still damp from decontamination. She'd removed her jacket again. The bridge felt positively Arctic after Infernus Prime. "Your species continues to surprise us," Jekthar admitted. "Perhaps that is humanity's true strength. Not your technology or your weapons, but your ability to adapt, to endure." Elsa shrugged, that casual human gesture that never quite translated properly. "We're not special, Admiral. We just come from a planet that tried really hard to kill us for a few million years. We got stubborn." Zia stepped forward, handing Jekthar the data core containing their findings. "Sir, these geological surveys will help establish mining operations. The resources here could power the Coalition for decades." Jekthar accepted the data, his mandibles clicking in what Elsa had learned was respect. "Then perhaps humanity has given the Coalition more than endurance. You have given us hope that impossible challenges are merely difficult ones." As they left the bridge, Zia nudged Elsa's shoulder. "Think they'll finally stop underestimating us?" Elsa grinned. "Not a chance. But that's fine. I like exceeding expectations." Behind them, through the viewport, Infernus Prime continued its volcanic fury. A planet that had seemed unconquerable, now just another world where humans had simply refused to quit. Because that's what humanity did best.